Hey guys, welcome back. So in this week's video, I'm going to show you how to make a 90s inspired prog house lead sound for your next track. This has been used in tracks by artists like Spray, Demi, and even myself for my most recent track, Amanita, which is premiering over on Herfy D at the moment. The link's down below. It's the first track of my next EP, Soft Logic, which is coming out at the end of the month with also an amazing remix by Kitster. You can pre-order that now in the link down below on Solar Reef's Bandcamp page as well. We're also doing a little shindig, throwing a party on the 16th this month, I think in 2 days, in fact, when this video comes out. You can also find a link to that down below. We've got Kitster along, as well as some other amazing DJs. In fact, if you pre-order the EP, send me a photo. I will pop you guys on the guest list. So come along, that's in London, in Nine Elms at the Last Arch, an awesome venue. Hope to see you all there. And without further ado, let's get into the video.
So let's start with some MIDI notes and the GOAT wavetable. Now for the sub, -8 dB and tone to 75%. Oscillator 1 with a vintage wave subheading, setting the wave to JN6 double saw, set to 37% with 12 semitones up to give us that old school, rich Juno sound. Abosh! Set the effect mode to classic and the first parameter to 1.6. For the classic mode, it's the pulse width. Now oscillator 2, a basic square wave, FM mode and 70% amount. As you can hear, it's a bit hot, so let's bring down the level. Let's also detune the two waves, 5 semitones either way. Now for the filter, let's bring it down to 1.38 kHz with a resonance of 67%. Let's also add a second filter peak at 6.82 kHz and a 57% resonance. Now for the amp envelope. 0.75 millisecond attack, a 2.36 second decay, and -20 sustain, with a 66.9 millisecond release for that sweet plucky sound. Finally, let's adjust the curves, like so. Let's make it mono, add some glide, 24.7 milliseconds, and add some unison, set to phase sync with 4 voices at 24%. Now for some spooky looking envelopes. Shape envelope 2 like this, and adjust the values like so. Attack 29.1 milliseconds, decay 11.3 seconds, sustain to 73%, and the release at 470 milliseconds. Now envelope 3, the attack of 45.8 milliseconds, the decay 3.58 seconds, sustain 53%, and the release 716 milliseconds. Shape it like so. Now the matrix. For the pulse width of oscillator 1, let's apply 12 and -12% of envelope 2 and 3 respectively. With oscillator 1's sync, let's do 90% of envelope 2, and finally filter 1's frequency, 12 and 92 for envelope 2 and 3. Nice. Finally, let's reduce the time to -7.8. Now let's add some additional oomph. Group your wavetable and open it, duplicating your wavetable so you can create a high and low synth to add some sweet, sweet harmonies. Okay, so let's solo and tweak. Let's set oscillator 1's semitone to 7 and oscillator 2's all the way up to 219. Let's label them while we're at it. I'll tweak the unison to taste and shorten the release of my modulation envelopes. And here we are together. Let's balance these a bit. I'll set it to nothing, then bring the volume up until I get the sound I'm after. Finally, let's add some extra width, panning the two synths 3 left and right. Let's whack on a phaser and adjust to 50%. For the synth, I want some additional filter modulation, and I'll do that with an EQ8 and shaper. Adjust the EQ8 to something like this, with a low cut and an additional peak with a steep Q. We're going to apply the shapers to these. Create a shaper like this, applying the shaper to the filter frequency of the low pass and the peak, setting the minimum values as so. Now for the extra sauce, a fat delay. I'm using the Valhalla Supermassive, which is free, so go download it. It's pretty neat. I'll set the modes to Aquarius, warp to 100, feedback to 50, density to 53.7%, depth to 50%, with the EQ high at 6220 and the low at 220. And finally the big thing, set the delay to note. And there you go. You have a beefy prog lead sound for your next track, just like mine. Which is out now on Solar Reef, so go check it out and maybe buy it, please. Thanks. Enjoy.
So that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something from that. There's some aspects to making this synth which also can apply to loads of other synths. You know, detuning your two waves to get a richer sound, doing the similar thing by panning two different synths left and right to create some extra width, as well as all of the effects processing that we've been using as well. And hopefully also you find that Supermassive is really useful going forwards. I've certainly used it on a lot of tracks of mine and really love it. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel out. As I always say, check out the EP in the links down below. Go give it some love if you want to support the channel. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.